Hello, my name is Tom Stiles, and this is Tom's Radio Room Show number 11. Today I'm going to talk about a very interesting radio that I picked up probably 25 years ago. It came about after, this is scanner radio, it came about after the initial scanner radios, which were crystal controlled, which meant you had to buy a crystal for each frequency you wanted to listen to, which could get quite expensive. And it was just, I don't know exactly when it came out, but it was just in the realm when they were starting to provide scanner radios that you could program, the user could program, saving the cost of having to buy separate crystals. This is rather a monster portable radio, and I hope the webcam will show it up pretty good. It was made by General Electric. Like I say, it's a portable radio, has an antenna attached, can be used on batteries in the battery case here, or with an AC adapter, which it came with. And what was unusual about this radio, what kind of caught my eye, is that when you first look at it, and I'll try to get a little closer and hopefully it didn't go out of focus, you can see there's a couple of slide switches here, and they are for manual advance and manual scan to select either manual mode on one frequency or to scan the four frequencies. And then there's an odd one called off channel 4, which is you could program something in the channel 4 that you didn't want it to scan all the time because maybe it was on all the time, such as NOAA weather station. And then you could lock it out when you wanted it to scan and not stop on that. So you could lock it out temporarily. But again, not a whole lot of knobs and switches when you first look at it. On this side, it has the volume control and the squelch control. And then it has this little button here that says push to open.
There is a message for you.
So if you push that little button there, turns out when you push that button, this little front cover comes off and it reveals the heart of this radio and how it works. There's your 4 channels and a tuning knob for each channel. Very small tuning knob. And you also see that the frequency range of the scanner is only 150 megahertz to 174 megahertz, which back during that time frame, probably, I don't know, in the 70s maybe, that's where most of the activity was as far as police, fire, emergency, other utilities and services. Like I said, NOAA weather was up at 162 something. So what was going on during that time frame was in that range. So it was applicable for that time frame. Now, the way you had to program this radio is you had to manually advance, and I'll turn it on here. You manually advanced, it's scanning right now, so let's put it on manual instead of scan. Okay, now it's on manual. Then you manually advance, we're using this button, to each of the channels. So I'm on channel 1 now. And what you would do is you would turn this knob, just like on an AM radio, and tune in the frequency. So you have no indication whatsoever what you were tuning in except this little dial here, which was very crude, very small. So it was kind of tough. Plus, as most of you know, scanner radios, the activity is not always there. So unless you knew the frequency and could kind of generally dial it in and then wait and wait and wait and wait for something to come through and then try to adjust it and then wait for another transmission and adjust it, it was a hellish thing to tune up, to set up these 4 frequencies. Just for kicks this morning, for about a half hour, I tried to find some activity And the only thing I found was NOAA weather, and of course they're on full time, so it was easy to tune them in. And what I did is I tuned them in to channel 4 here so I could lock it out. And then I just on this little dial here that shows you the frequency that you can tune, there's 4 areas that are marked: 150 megahertz, 157 megahertz, 165, and 174. 150 was where the business band was for business radios. So I just took the first channel and I just kind of stuck it in the middle of that range. The next one was 157, and that was where the police bands were, around 155 thereabouts back then. Of course, now they're up at 800 megahertz. And then the next one was 165, which, as I said before, NOAA radio, which around 162. And then the last one is 174, where some of the local utilities, such as forest rangers and stuff like that, were up in that area. And so I just gave up trying to find anything, and then I just set the 3 channels here for 150, 157, and 174. And then on the 4th channel, which you can lock out with this button here, I set it to the local NOAA weather station. And let me see if I can pick that up. I've got it turned on. Put the antenna up a little bit. Turn the volume up. We'll put it on scan. And it's scanning. It does have a squelch. The squelch doesn't work very well. It's kind of like hit or miss. Sometimes you have to turn it so high that you don't pick up anything. Now I should be picking up something on channel 4. But that, like I said, the squelch is not working out. There we go. I'll extend the antenna, see if that helps any. And I'll turn the squelch down. Okay, that.
Issued at 4:41 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, at 5 a.m. Atlantic Standard Time.
Okay, so it is picking up NOAA weather station, which is about 30 miles away, pretty close. So it still works. Very unusual radio, as I said before. Let me turn this down. Probably not much value. I had hoped, when I rediscovered it in my one of my filing cabinets, I had hoped it would go down to the amateur band, down to 144 megahertz and thereabouts, so I could use it to at least monitor the local repeaters, but it doesn't go that low, so not much value for that. But in a name, it's on here. You can't see that probably. The name is the GE Searcher. I think I bought it at Kmart, of all things. It was in a closeout section at Kmart. They were closing it out. And I don't think it caught on very well. I did a Google search for it to see if I could find any information about it. And I only got 2 hits. One, believe it or not, somebody has one on eBay for sale. That was quite unusual. And the other hit I found, and I searched for about an hour, was apparently there was a table model of this that was a little larger, had same kind of dials and same kind of LEDs, but it was a table model, a little wider, bigger speaker, of course. This does have a pretty good speaker. And that was the only thing I never did find, except for that eBay ad. I never did find any information on Google, and Google is usually fantastic about finding information on any subject, especially radios. The only picture I found besides the one on eBay was the table model one. And the eBay ad gave me some ideas of what to use for my search, but came up short. So I think this, I think this radio is kind of rare, only from the standpoint of not many people bought them. I don't know how many were made. It is very unique. Kind of one of those radios you put in your shack and just show it to people and don't really use it. But yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting. So I thought I'd do a quick review of it and see what you thought about it. Now, the next week, hold on a second. I say next week, actually, the next show, I plan to do another somewhat antique, but still very useful device for scanner radios, for scanner enthusiasts. And you could use it for ham, too, for catching repeaters. But this is an automatic scanner made by Optoelectronics called the Model 40 Scout. And what it does is similar to the function that is now getting built into some of the newer scanners, is it scans the full spectrum. I think it goes from like DC to probably 2 gigahertz, and looks for any strong signals. And if it finds a strong signal, it will lock on that signal. It will display what the signal is, and it will store that in some memory. You can also use it just as a frequency counter if you want to detect as a piece of test equipment to monitor the frequency output of a transmitter or something of yours, and you can use it just as a standard frequency meter, or you can have it do this supposedly synthesized scan of the whole spectrum. So the next show I'll be talking about this little baby. As I said, the idea was they took what was normally a frequency counter and turned it into a broadband scanner, I'll call it. This particular model did not have audio, so you had no audio. There was a company, a small company, that came up with a device. This does have an output, and that can control a radio. And there was a company that came out with a little interface that would take that output, decode it, and it would tune certain radios to that frequency so you could actually hear what's going on. Later on, this company made one similar to this that had a built-in speaker so that you could actually use it as a scanner. Although it didn't have capability of storing any channels, so you could have scanned channels, it would just scan and lock onto a frequency, whatever the strong frequency was, and let you display that. And then you could look at the frequency and then may even manually program that into your scanner radio. So that's what I'm going to talk about the next show. Hopefully in the next day or two I'll do another show. So that's it for today. Thanks for coming. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.